Stampers, it's Amy with Stampin' Magic. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today I have for you the first project in my Easter mini series. So these are going to be 5 Easter projects using the Hello Easter stamp set, and these are going to come out every day, back to back, 5 days in a row. So for the first project we're going to start off quite simple, and we're going to be using this stamp set to create a set of note cards. I really love this stamp set. It's been lots of fun to play with. You've got some really cute images, fab sentiments. I love this bold sentiment here, and it's a really nice size as well. And these block images are really nice and big for your card making or scrapbooking as big focal points. So we're going to be using this stamp set, and we're going to be making another card to go with this note card set. So I've got 4 colours there, all made using our thin tall note cards. And they're very, very simple. All you need is some crumb cake for the bunny and another colour of ink and a little bit of cardstock, and you're ready to go. So for this design I've also stamped the envelope just to make that a little bit more interesting also. So super simple, super fun, and we're going to make this today. So let's get started. So one thing I found you'll need is your piercing mat. Because the images are quite block images, it just makes the image more crisp when you stamp, because it gives it a little bit of padding, because they're photopolymer stamps. So you've got no padding on this. So having this underneath your Whisper White when you're stamping will give you a nice crisp image. If you're using clear mount, you won't need that, because the clear mount stamps already has a foam padding on it. So you'll need one of our new note cards, and these are quite small, but they're thin and narrow, and they're very, very cute. I love using these. And you'll need the envelope for that as well. So you need a piece of Peekaboo Peach, and this is the colour we're going to be doing our card in today. And this measures 2 3/8 by 4 3/8. You also need some Whisper White, and this is 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. The measurements I will put on my blog with a list of all the things you need, and that'll be in the description bar below, so do check that out. And you'll also need a small scrap piece big enough to fit your bunny on. And for inks, like I said, we're going to be doing this card in Peekaboo Peach, so you'll need Peekaboo Peach and crumb cake. You'll need some Tombow and some dimensionals, so very, very minimal supplies for this card. Okay, I'm going to start with my bunny, just so that's ready. So I'm getting some crumb cake, and this is such a cute little bunny. I love, 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 love it. So inking that up, placing that down, and that's our bunny done. And that is all you need your crumb cake for. Now I've noticed something in the stamp set, because I was trying to think, well, what is this? And I've only just figured it out. In the stamp set here, next to it, you've got a little tiny dot and a little dash, and that is basically your nose and your eye to your bunny. Now I didn't really notice this at first, and I was stamping away and I was like, oh, hang on, does that fit? And then I looked back at this stamp set and I can clearly see this lines up with this. So you could stamp your eyes, your little pink nose, if you want to. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have my rabbit as it is, because I want it to be nice and simple. But we are now going to fussy cut this out. So I'll fast forward this bit for you, and I'll come back to you in a second. Okay, and that is our cute little bunny cut out. So I'm going to pop this to one side for a moment while we focus on our main image. So I'm bringing in my Peekaboo Peach. Get that to one side. Now with this, we're going to do the main egg, and with this, depending on the colour you use, depends how you're going to want to stamp it. So Soft Sky is a really pale colour, so I just stamped it as it is. This is Calypso Coral. This is very, very dark, as you can see, so I stamped off first, and then I stamped down onto my image to make it kind of a shade lighter, and then used the regular colour to fill in the pattern here. And I did the same here. It makes it slightly darker. So you will get two kind of different looks, but it depends on the colour of your ink you're going to be using. And I've got the yellow here, I did the same way as the Calypso Coral because it's quite a dark yellow. And the Lemon Lime Twist obviously is quite light, so I did it regular stamping. If you're not sure, what I'd recommend you doing is stamping onto a piece of paper first and then stamp off again onto the same piece of paper, and you can see the two shades. So you see its original colour and then a shade lighter, just to see what you think you'll need to do. So I've got my nice egg image here and my Peekaboo Peach. So I'm going to ink it up. And to start with, I think I'm going to just test out the colour. So stamping once, that's its original colour. Stamping again is a shade lighter. So I think I'm going to go shade lighter because it's not too light that it's not going to show up. So inking that up again. Oh my God. Stamping it off once. Bringing it here, and we're going to do it nice and central. There's just enough room for it. And because you've got the foam mat under it and it's a nice block image, you should get a nice crisp stamped image. Like that. Lovely. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the kind of little hoopy dots that we've got here. And I found that they fit lovely into the stripes of this particular egg. Now with this set, you have got some other images like little floral bits, little kind of like crosses. You can put any of these into the stripes of the egg and do them all different colours if you wanted. I just thought it's a really nice way of sprucing up the egg. So all I did, no stamping off, directly onto the image. And just keep turning it so that you get a nice pattern. Okay, that is our Easter egg done. It's got some lovely polka dot patterns now. Now I'm going to bring in the Happy Easter sentiment. So you only want to ink up the happy first. So I know we do it at the side there, my ink pad. And I'm going to place that in the middle at the top. Now you want to make sure you clean this well in between stamping. And then I just like dab it off a few times just to make sure I get off any residue. And then I'm just going to ink up the Easter. And we're going to stick that at the bottom. Like so. So we're done with our Peekaboo Peach for the moment. So I'm bringing in my other pieces and some Tombow, and I'm going to glue all the layers together. So place in the middle so you've got a nice even border. And the same for this, we're going to glue onto here with a nice even border. So I'm going to bring in some dimensionals and my little bunny rabbit. So one dimensional for his main body. And I'm going to cut the end bits. So you could use mini glue dots for these instead if you didn't want to have to cut them. So I've got a large one, a half, and a little kind of sliver. And then we're going to place the bunny in the middle of the egg. Okay, and the last thing we need to do, bring back in our ink, and we're going to use the ink and the dots and just cover this in dots. So that's our card for today. Super simple, super fun. I love how these have turned out, and I love all the colours you can do with them. I really like using the kind of darker colours where you stamp off first. I think this gives a really nice effect, as you can see on these three. These ones obviously are naturally lighter colours, so when you stamp off first to do the main egg image, then stamp down, it might be a little bit too pale. But have a play around, go for it, see what you can come up with. And let me know what you think. If you did like this project, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe. The link to my blog and Facebook page are in the description bar below. Join me tomorrow for project 2 of my Easter mini series, and I look forward to seeing you then. Bye.